Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this video we're going to take a look at the concept of chord inversions and what they are. So chord inversions are simply a way of rearranging the notes of a chord, to put it simply. So if we use a chord of C major as an example, the notes of the C major chord, which are just right on the left here, we've got a C, we've got an E, and we've got a G, because that represents the root of the C chord, the third of the C chord, and the fifth of the C chord. Another way of thinking about that is the root note of the C major scale, the third note of the C major scale, and the fifth note of the C major scale. And what we end up with is C major in root position here, where we have C, E, and G, or put another way, the root, the third, and the fifth. So what do we do when we invert a chord? What we do is we literally rearrange these notes. So in this next position here, let's just write root up here so we know what this is. This is the first inversion, and literally all we've done here is we've taken the C off of the bottom of the chord and placed it at the top. So this is now a third, fifth, and root. But as you'll notice, the chords are still the same. The notes of the chord are still the same. We still have the C, the E, and the G. It's just they're in a different order. We can carry that concept on, and we can get to second inversion by literally doing the same thing. We're going to take the E that was on the bottom, and we're going to shift it up to the top. So now our inversion is the fifth, the root, and the third, which we refer to as second inversion. And finally, to complete that, if we were to go one step further and take the fifth that was here before and shift that up to the top, you notice that we are back in our root position shape, the only difference being that we are one octave higher than where we started. So this would also be a root position chord. So that's literally all inversions are. It's just a different note of the chord is the lowest note. In the root case, it's the root of the chord. In first inversion, it's the third of the chord. In second inversion, it's the fifth of the chord. So just to complete the picture, what happens if we have more than three notes? In the last example, we had a simple C major chord and we inverted that. Well, if we have a four-note chord like this one here, for example, which is the C major 7 chord, we're going to add the additional note of the B on top, being the seventh of the chord. If we take a look at the root position for that, we have the root, third, and fifth, just like we did with our C major chord, but we've added the seventh, or the B on top as well. To get the inversion, we do exactly the same thing we did for root position triads. So if we take this C that was at the bottom and move it to the top, we end up with first inversion. If we take the E that's there from first inversion and shift it up to the top, we end up with second inversion. And then finally, if we take the G from the second inversion and move it up to the top, we end up with third inversion. That's all there is to it in terms of inversions, nothing more complex than that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please tell any friends that you think might be interested in these quick grabs on music theory. Until the next one, enjoy your music and see you next time.